I do see some raindrops out on that lake.
Displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the parks professor.
Welcome back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the parks professor. We are at Potato Creek State Park. We are near South Bend, Indiana, and therefore we are in northern Indiana. Today is Sunday, September the 22nd, and the temperature right now is a cloudy and damp 68 degrees with rain in the forecast. We started at the Nature Center, and the plan today is to hike at least trail number 1. Trail number 1 is a 2¼ mile loop. There's also another trail, trail number 2, that is an offshoot of trail number 1. And if you do that one also, that's a longer loop. That's about 3.8 miles. And so we are going to get started and see how much we can get in before the rain comes. Are we going to beat the rain today? We'll find out. We're about 15 minutes in. We're working our way counterclockwise around trail number 1. And mostly we've been staying near the lake shore so far. But we've come to this really nice view of Worcester Lake, which is the main lake here at this park. I do see some raindrops out on that lake. Nothing too heavy so far. So we will keep working our way clockwise around trail number 1. We're about 25 minutes in now, and we've made it up to our decision point. These trails are marked by these wooden posts bearing yellow numbers. And if we wanted to do only trail number 1, we would continue straight here. But it's not raining much. There's a little bit of a light sprinkle right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll the dice. We're going to turn right, and we're also going to do trail number 2. This trail is obviously longer and also a little bit harder than the one we were on. It takes us up to the highest point in this park. Maybe we'll get some views from there. Not sure. But we're going to give it a roll and start working our way around trail number 2. We just climbed up those stairs right there. And now we are on top of Steamboat Hill. This is one of the highest points in this park. It's only about 50 feet or so above the surrounding areas. And there are no views up here. But it's a nice little spot to be. There is some really nice woods out here. Some large beech trees over here in this part of the park. Also, it has rained a little bit. In fact, we're getting a little light rain now. But so far, it's mostly stayed up in the canopy and hasn't really gotten down to where I am. So we will keep heading around trail number 2. We came down off of Steamboat Hill, and as you can see, after a brief climb, we have now made it to the top of Vargo Hill. Unlike Steamboat Hill, there is a wooden observation platform here at Vargo Hill. But more or less like Steamboat Hill, there is basically no view. At least not this time of year. So that's a little disappointing. But it is what it is. I'm going to sit here and rest a few minutes. And then we are going to finish off trail number 2. Trail number 2 will take us back to trail number 1, which will take us back to the Nature Center, which will complete this hike. We made it back to trail number 1, And therefore we are on the last leg now back to the nature center. These trails are pretty well marked once you get out here. Around the nature center they're a little confusing, but once you get out here they're pretty well marked, so we have to turn left here to stay on trail number 1. To tie up a couple of loose ends, I mentioned at the beginning that we were racing the rain today, and you can probably hear it raining right now. It's been a light to moderate rain for about the past half hour or so. So I think I'm going to have to admit defeat on that particular race. That said, if my choice is between 65 degrees and a light rain versus hiking in 90 degrees and solid sun, which is what we had earlier this week, I will take the 65 degrees and light rain, and that's not really even close. So this didn't turn out too bad. Also, a word about the trail difficulties. The state of Indiana ranks this trail, the trail we're on right now, trail number 1, as moderate. And the other trail, the one that goes over the hills, trail number 2, as rugged. I personally would rank them both as moderate. As I mentioned on some of my previous Indiana videos, the state of Indiana has a tendency to overrate their trail difficulty, and I think they've done that here. So don't be scared off by the rugged ranking on trail number 2. That trail isn't really that rugged. The rain's coming a little harder now, so I'm going to close out this video. Until next time, I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor for Parking Full Time. Thank you for watching. Have a great afternoon. Take care, and Lord bless.